If you're planning to migrate to Australia in 2026, I need you to stop scrolling right now because what I'm about to tell you could be the difference between getting your PR and watching your dreams slip away. The point system has just been updated again, and thousands of skilled workers across Pakistan and around the world are waking up to the reality that the rules they studied last year are no longer enough. Your scores might have dropped without you even touching your application. Your occupation might have shifted in priority. Your English score that felt safe 6 months ago might now be barely competitive. And here's the part that nobody wants to hear. If you don't understand these 2026 changes right now, you're not just behind. You're playing a game where everyone else already knows the new rules and you're still reading the old handbook. So if you've been planning your Australian PR, if you've been calculating your points, or if you've already submitted an expression of interest and you're wondering why nothing is moving, you need to hear this. This isn't about scaring you. This is about preparing you. Because the 2026 PR points update is real, it's already in motion, and it's changing everything. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you've spent 2 years planning your migration. You've done your skills assessment. You've taken your English test. You've calculated your points down to the last detail, and you were sitting comfortably at 65 points thinking you're safe. Then 2026 hits. Suddenly the occupation you chose is no longer a top priority. The points you were relying on from your work experience aren't weighing as much as they used to. And the people who are getting invitations now are the ones who adapted fast, who understood the system early, and who repositioned their entire strategy before it was too late. That's what's happening right now. The Australian immigration system isn't just tweaking a few numbers. It's reshaping the entire selection process to match what the country actually needs. And if you don't know what Australia is looking for in 2026, you're going to waste time, money, and opportunity on a strategy that no longer works. So, let's talk about why 2026 matters. The Australian skilled migration point system has always been competitive, but 2026 is different because the competition isn't just higher. The system itself has evolved. Think of the point system like a strict teacher who's just upgraded the exam and raised the pass mark, not because they want to fail you, but because there are more students than seats and they need a better way to choose the best candidates. Australia is dealing with real skill shortages in critical industries. They're dealing with an aging population. They're dealing with infrastructure demands, digital transformation, and a healthcare crisis that needs immediate solutions, so the migration system has to choose people who can fill those gaps fast. And the 2026 update is designed to do exactly that. It's not random. It's not arbitrary. It's strategic. And if you understand the strategy, you can position yourself to win. The first major change you need to understand is the massive focus on high-demand occupations. Australia has looked at its labor market and made a decision. They have enough accountants. They have enough general business professionals, but they desperately need engineers. They need nurses and healthcare workers. They need teachers. They need cybersecurity experts. They need construction workers and tradespeople. And the 2026 update is giving these occupations more weight than ever before. If your job is on the shortage list, if you're in engineering, healthcare, IT, education, construction, or cybersecurity, you're going to feel the difference. You're going to see faster processing. You're going to see better invitation rounds. You're going to see states actively looking for people like you. But if you're not on that list, don't panic. It doesn't mean you're out of the game. It just means you need to compensate in other areas. You need to maximize your English score. You need to consider regional pathways. You need to make sure your partner's skills are included. You need to be smarter about how you build your points. Here's what most people miss. The occupation lists aren't just about job titles. They reflect national priorities. Australia wants more STEM professionals because they're tied to innovation, defense, and digital transformation. They want more healthcare workers because the population is aging and the system is under pressure. They want more construction workers because housing and infrastructure projects are booming and there aren't enough people to do the work. So when you're selecting your occupation code, when you're deciding which skills assessment to pursue, you need to understand what the country is prioritizing. Because if your occupation aligns with national priorities, your entire application becomes stronger. Your points carry more weight. Your EOI gets noticed faster, and your chances of getting invited skyrocket. The second major change is the strengthened regional pathways. Regional Australia has been saying for years, come over here. We have space. We have jobs. We have opportunities. And in 2026, the government is listening even more closely. Regional migration pathways are being strengthened with extra points, faster processing times, and more state nomination opportunities. If you choose the regional route, you're choosing a path that has less competition and more rewards. Regional areas are offering solid job markets, strong migration support, and growing local economies. And the 2026 update is pushing regional migration even further by encouraging skilled workers to settle in areas where they're truly needed. You get more points, you get better nomination chances, and in many cases, you get more job opportunities because local employers are struggling to fill roles and they're actively looking for skilled migrants like you. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, I don't want to be stuck in a regional area. I want to live in Sydney or Melbourne, and I get it. But here's the truth. Regional PR pathways are among the most stable and fastest migration routes in Australia right now. You get in faster. You build up your work experience, you establish yourself in the country, and once you complete your regional obligations, you can move anywhere you want. You're not locked in forever. You're building a foundation, and for people who want a faster and less stressful PR journey, regional migration in 2026 is one of the smartest strategies you can choose. Don't let outdated stereotypes about regional areas stop you from taking advantage of a pathway that could get you PR years earlier than the general skilled migration route. The third major update is the increased weight on English skills. English has always been important in the Australian points system, but in 2026, it's more critical than ever. The competition has increased. Everyone is bringing strong qualifications. Everyone is upgrading their skills. And to separate the top candidates from the rest, English proficiency has become a major differentiator. High English scores now carry more impact, especially in competitive occupations. Even for shortage occupations, strong English skills boost your overall profile and make you more attractive to employers and state governments. This update makes sense because Australia's workforce depends heavily on communication. The better your English, the smoother your transition into the workplace, the stronger your job prospects, and the faster you integrate into Australian society. But here's the part that nobody tells you. Many applicants lose points simply because they underestimate English tests. They think they're fluent, they think they can have a conversation, watch movies, and read news articles, so they'll be fine. But migration English isn't casual English. It's structured. It's academic. It's time-pressured, and it's designed to test your ability to function in a professional Australian environment. If you want to win in the 2026 system, you need to aim for high English scores early. Give yourself time to prepare. Don't book your test 2 days before your EOI deadline and hope for the best. Prepare like your PR depends on it, because it does. Even a small improvement from a 6.5 to a 7 or from a 7 to an 8 can add several points to your total score, and in a competitive system, those extra points could be the difference between getting an invitation and waiting another year. The fourth major change is the emphasis on skilled partners. If your partner has skills, qualifications, and English ability, you now have a serious advantage. The 2026 system is giving more credit to applicants whose partners aren't just emotionally supportive but also professionally valuable. In other words, the PR system now recognizes couples who bring double value to Australia. This update makes perfect sense. Australia wants households that can contribute to the workforce, support themselves financially, and integrate easily into society. A skilled partner means 2 professionals, 2 incomes, and higher economic stability. If your partner has a relevant qualification, if they have an occupation that's in demand, get them ready to participate in the application. If they can also achieve a strong English score, even better. Their contribution directly boosts your points and strengthens your entire profile. For couples who used to focus only on the primary applicant, this update is your wake-up call. Don't let easy points slip away simply because your partner didn't take the English test or didn't get their occupation assessed. You're leaving points on the table. And in a system where every single point counts, that's a mistake you can't afford to make. But what if you're single? Don't panic. Being single doesn't hurt your score. It just means you rely more on your own merits. The system is still perfectly balanced for individual applicants who meet the requirements. You just need to make sure you're maximizing every other area of your application. The fifth major component of the 2026 update is the refreshed occupation lists. Australia is constantly updating which occupations are in demand based on national priorities and economic planning. In 2026, new roles in STEM, healthcare, engineering, teaching, and trades are likely to be added. This has always been Australia's way of aligning migration with its long-term growth plans. Right now, Australia is investing heavily in renewable energy, digital transformation, infrastructure, defense technology, and advanced manufacturing. So the updated occupation list will reflect these national objectives. If your occupation appears newly added to the priority list, don't waste time. Get your skills assessment done immediately. Start preparing your English test. Strengthen your documents early, because when occupation lists change, there's usually a surge of applicants trying to take advantage of the new opportunities. And the people who move fast are the ones who get the invitations. One of the smartest moves you can make in 2026 is to fully understand where your occupation sits in the system. Is it in demand nationally? Is it preferred in regional areas? Does a particular state want it urgently? These details will shape your entire strategy, because knowing where you're most wanted gives you a roadmap. It tells you which state nomination to pursue. It tells you whether to focus on regional or metro pathways, and it tells you how to position your application for maximum success. If there's one theme that connects the entire 2026 PR points update, it's this. Australia wants strong, job-ready migrants who can fill real skill shortages and settle quickly. The system is becoming clearer, more targeted, and more aligned with the country's long-term goals. And while competition is higher, the rules are actually simpler if you know how to read them. The government isn't trying to keep people out. They're trying to bring in the right people, people who have the skills the country needs, people who have the English ability to function professionally, people who are willing to live in regional areas if that's where the opportunities are, people who bring value not just as individuals but as families. And if you fit that profile, if you're willing to adapt your strategy to match what Australia is looking for, then 2026 is actually full of opportunity. So what do you do now? First, reassess your points. Go through the 2026 updates and calculate where you stand today. Don't rely on old calculations from last year. The system has changed. Your score might have changed, and you need to know exactly where you are before you can move forward. Second, check your occupation. Make sure it's still on the relevant lists. Make sure it aligns with current priorities. And if it doesn't, consider whether there's a related occupation that gives you a better chance. Third, maximize your English. If you're sitting at competent English, push for proficient. If you're at proficient, aim for superior. Every band score increase gives you more points and more options. Fourth, involve your partner. If they have skills, get them assessed. If they need English, help them prepare. Don't leave easy points on the table. Fifth, consider regional pathways. Look at which regional areas are nominating your occupation. Research the lifestyle, the job market, and the migration support. Regional might be your fastest route to PR. And sixth, get professional advice if you need it. The system is complex. The stakes are high, and mistakes cost time and money. The 2026 PR points update isn't here to stop you. It's here to guide the system toward the people Australia needs most. And if you position yourself correctly, if you understand the priorities, if you build your points strategically, you can be one of those people. Don't let fear or confusion hold you back. Don't assume the system is impossible. And don't waste time on strategies that no longer work. This is Aussie Visa and Immigration, and we're here to make sure you understand the system, navigate it confidently, and reach your Australian dream. The 2026 update is your opportunity to get ahead if you act now. So stop waiting, start preparing. And let's make this your year.